Hello, my name is Mary Ashley Walsh, and I'm going to talk to you about virtual schools. A virtual school, also known as a cyber school, describes an institution that teaches courses entirely or primarily through online methods. Virtual school is an online learning program offered by an educational organization where individuals can earn credits in their particular area of interest, which can be counted toward graduation or advancement to the next grade. The idea for virtual school came about in the mid 1990s. In 1997, the first statewide virtual public high school in the United States was Florida Virtual School. At first, virtual schooling was a large phenomenon in North America, but it has quickly spread to many other countries. Funding for virtual schools usually comes from grants or private foundations. The cost of virtual schools varies depending on the percentage of time it is utilized. The state may pay for courses, but there may also be fees that the parents of that student would need to cover. Some virtual schools are chartered through a public school district, so they cover the cost for students that would need the virtual schooling. Some public school districts are now even creating their own virtual classes to avoid paying an outside source to educate their own students, which means that students can still graduate from their home district without ever stepping foot into the building. Like anything, there are pros and cons when it comes to virtual schooling. Some of the advantages of virtual schooling are listed. Virtual schools are a great alternative for students that have special education needs. Students that have emotional and behavioral disorders and cannot behave in a traditional classroom are able to get the same instruction without the distraction or if they have been suspended or expelled from their school. The coursework is also very individualized, so it meets all the students' needs as well as challenges them so they are not behind or too far ahead like they might be in a traditional classroom. This also helps the students that have extensive absences due to medical reasons or the ones that are not physically able to go to school. Online education is also more convenient. The schedule is flexible, and so students that have a job or other family obligations can attend virtual school when they are free throughout the day. These students also gain skills such as with their computer, self-directed learning, and collaboration, which will help them when they graduate and look for a job. Here are a few disadvantages listed below. One disadvantage to virtual schooling is that it isn't always free. Sometimes parents have to cover what the school district and grants cannot, which leaves some parents in a bind because they may not have the extra funds to send their students to these virtual schools. Virtual schools are a great idea, but there are many people that would not have access to them because of where they live. Students that live out in the middle of nowhere may not have internet access, or it may not be consistent. You could also take a student from the inner city and they may not have access to it either or be able to afford it. For a majority of students, school is where they build their social skills. So if they sit at home on the computer instead of in a classroom with their peers, they're missing out on these life-changing skills. Another problem may be the instant feedback. When a student has a question and wants to ask their teacher, they may email them and not get a response until the next day, or even longer. And the final con that I found when it comes to online schooling was how will students do other activities like PE, art, music, or even conduct science experiments while using a computer? I know there are many programs online that help cover these four topics, but I feel like students just get much more effect from doing them hands-on. In my opinion, online schooling is a great invention, especially for students that cannot receive the best education for them in a traditional school. I do not, however, believe that virtual schooling is for everyone. Since I would like to be a teacher, I do not want virtual schools to become the norm. I look forward to having my own classroom and working with students in person every day. Virtual schools are a great alternative, but that is all I personally think they should be, an alternative.